The service has a zero-fail mission, a mission officers are training to uphold.
I think it's such an awful comparison to say, women don't add value to the Secret Service. Women shouldn't be in the Secret Service. They shouldn't be agents. Stature and height should not matter. The body was in front of the president. It was better than nothing.
Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again.
The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight.
My. Former President Donald Trump got shot. Was it an inside job? Divine intervention? Pure luck that the bullet only grazed the top of Trump's ear? Or was the shooter just lousy? Unfortunately, he did manage to take someone's life. Rest in peace, Mr. Corey Comparator.
I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero. That Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing.
After everything that took place on July 13th, the moral of the story seems to be incompetence. How in the blue hell is it possible for an untrained 20-year-old to outsmart the Secret Service? This is despite multiple eyewitnesses spotting him well before the shooting occurred. It just doesn't make sense.
He's on the roof. He's not.
We have people
right here, right on the roof.
It's much tougher than
Now, we're not gonna blame this incident solely on women, but the female Secret Service agents have been under heavy fire for appearing too small to protect and fully guard the 6'3", 215 pounds former President Donald Trump, and for showing a look of confusion and incompetence, which is inexcusable in a profession of this magnitude.
It would look like a bunch of sorority sisters who were hungover. The one with the ponytail whipping around, she didn't know where she was going. The other one who couldn't reholster her weapon. Not one of these women inspires any confidence.
Seeing pictures that people are posting on social media pointing to how they don't look composed or they look panicked compared to men, and that this is the reason why there was a failure.
When incidents like this occur, people naturally scrutinize leadership. Enter Kimberly Cheeto, the head of the Secret Service, who has been in the hot seat and has been requested to resign.
Completely unsatisfied. It was a complete cover briefing by the Secret Service. The director of the Secret Service needs to lose her job.
Director Cheeto should resign. She shows no interest in doing that. And so this morning I called the White House and said, the president needs to fire her. Show some leadership, for goodness sakes, Mr. President. I didn't talk to him. They wouldn't let me on the phone with him, of course, but I let my word be known there.
The President and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you, but there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign.
I appreciate the Secretary's comments, and we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
You plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
Cheeto doesn't seem to be in any hurry to resign as the head of the Secret Service, which is ridiculous. How can you not be embarrassed after this fiasco? However, in Trump's latest appearance, there were no female agents spotted escorting him. This is where we come in as a manosphere channel. These diversity quotas can disadvantage those best suited and skilled for the job. Prioritizing diversity over quality also disadvantages the people who benefit from these services. However, the problem is more complex because law enforcement is struggling to recruit and retain qualified officers who are best suited for these high-stakes roles.
Another challenge, recruitment and retention, something all law enforcement is struggling with. But the Secret Service's departure rate was 48% last year, due in part to the high demands of the job.
This is really a problem that is in every corner of the United States.
Ian Adams is a professor of criminology and criminal justice at the University of South Carolina. He says experienced officers are leaving larger departments for smaller ones, though it's difficult to pinpoint how many. Some factors for the exodus include record retirement numbers and quality of life concerns. Some officers we spoke to say efforts to defund the police following the deaths of George Floyd and Tyree Nichols also weigh on them.
Policing is indeed facing a staffing crisis that it hasn't really seen in modern history.
Shout out to Patreon gang member Mr. SP1 for this video topic request. Salute! Kimberly Cheadle is planning to increase this diversity in law enforcement.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection. Agents were there when Donald Trump was arraigned in New York.
We were able to work out the details ahead of time of how that particular day was going to go, but we will always ensure the safety of all of our protectees that we have.
There is something about the year 2030 that just gives me the creeps. The West is crumbling right in front of our eyes, and it's becoming very obvious that the pillars, the cornerstones of a society, men, are no longer interested in fighting because there's no incentive to fight, and nobody is fighting for them. Look at what the police department is doing to attract experienced and new officers.
It's prompting agencies to compete for the best officers with new incentives. New Orleans PD offering a $20,000 hiring bonus for experienced officers. North Las Vegas Police offering $30,000 and $5,000 for moving costs. Officers who are military vets get another $5,000 to sign. The city of Alameda in Northern California offering a $75,000 hiring bonus to both transfers and academy graduates. That's on top of a starting salary of $110,000. Compare that to NYPD, which recently raised its base salary to $55,000.
You can't solve this problem just by throwing money at it. Men are being openly disrespected. Young men are being stripped of their masculinity at a young age. Masculinity which is essential for professions like these. These quotas are playing a major role in this disrespect. Men have to walk on eggshells and be politically correct when addressing women who are incompetent. You see what's happening to Star Wars. They are not listening to the fans who are predominantly men, but instead they attack them. It's not about women being in Star Wars. It's about bad writing. It's about destroying what made Star Wars great. It's about incompetence. That's what you get when you are more concerned about filling quotas and pushing an agenda. Almost everything Disney, Netflix, or whatever brings out sucks.
He says lingering health effects from being stabbed on the job in 2020 and ongoing tension between the public and police prompted him to leave the Windy City.
Everybody just wants to tell you that you're a pig. They want to announce all these bad words to you. And I'm honestly just trying to help people. But coming out here in Palm Springs and like this city, the police are respected.
Fewer young men are interested in a career in law enforcement, in part because of negative perceptions of the profession. So whether you like it or not, they are going to put these women on the force. When crap hits the fan, you will see the incompetence of these women who are naturally smaller, weaker in speed, power, endurance, dealing with stress, pressure, etc., running away like this. She's out. She's far away from the action. She did not want that smoke. But lady, this is your job. At the end of the day, law enforcement agencies must be staffed with the best and brightest, regardless of gender or any other characteristic. Quality and competence above all else. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Patreon supporters, salute! Man, that's where we work here. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been Highlighted.